Well, I'm going to give a little introduction as usual this morning before we get started with Amira. Um, but thank you again for being here. We're so excited to have all of you and to talk to Amira, who we haven't had on. I think you were on, I can't remember what month it was from last year, but Amira was on with us last year, early last year. Um, and we're just excited to have her back. And she's been a friend and mentor to us for a couple years now. So it's just exciting to have you back. Um, but just to
I'm
give a
excited
little
as well.
Yes, thank you for being here. I'm going to give a little background on Pandion first. So, for those who are not aware, we are a 501(c)(3) nonprofit working to break down the barriers between industry professionals and emerging artists and offering resources for free to indie musicians who are looking for education and information about the music industry as they're building their careers. And we also partner for events throughout the year and host events as well, mostly based in Los Angeles if you were there. And we also have virtual events as well. And then on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time, we also host an event called Pandion Unplugged, which is a wellness live stream for any musicians who are going through challenges or want to connect with other musicians. About shared challenges of the music industry and career stuff, then you are welcome to join. That is also for free on our Instagram and Facebook pages on Tuesdays. So join us there for that. Um, and Rebecca Trujillo Vest and Carlos Wolf are here as well from Pandion today with me.
Hello,
Um,
everybody. Hi.
So yeah, we are excited to jump in with Amira. I'll give just a little bio for Amira first, and then Amira, you can fill in anything I left out. But Amira is a songwriter and lyricist and a versatile talent inspired by everything and everyone around her. And she's also an executive producer, taking a song idea and completing it from A to Z. Recently, Amira's been a mentor, consultant, panelist, moderator, and speaker in the sync world, sharing what she knows about the music industry with others eager to learn. And is also directly involved with the Grammys as a voting member. So we're going to talk a lot about that today, which is exciting because we haven't really talked about that before with our mentors. So kind of how maybe if you have the dream of getting involved with the Grammys someday, Amira can share how she's gotten to that position in her career. So welcome, Amira. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you
So
so much.
excited.
I'm also part-time creative manager at Truly Music Sync, and I handle a lot of briefs that have from a small budget to literally unlimited, which means beyond 1 million. And so once the strike was over, we were flooded with all these briefs as well. So it's really good. It's good news for everybody. And I want to discuss something. The reason why we're calling this Serendipities to Success is because I came to the music industry around 2017 as a professional. I was an art director, and I decided that I wanted to do songwriting because I've always songwrote and wrote lyrics on the side as a passion of mine, but I never thought it was going to be professional. When I decided to do that, literally, it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's so true. It's so cliche when they say like when you do something that you love, it really comes you like a lot of things open doors for you, and that happened with me. And I believe in the power of serendipity after you work really hard on your passion, because nothing is easy in life, right? So how did I become a voting member in the Grammys is part of my serendipities. I had no plan whatsoever. I didn't even think that I could be one. It just everything came to me. It's the same thing when I worked as a trailer in a trailer company. That was given to me. Working with Truly Music, that was offered to me. I never go out, and even being a speaker anywhere, it was always offered to me. I didn't even seek it out. And so how? And then I'm also not living in LA where all the connections are. I live in Laguna Hills, which is supposed to be like 1 hour and a half from LA, but it's like 3 hours or 3 days in traffic, depending on what catastrophe is happening in LA. But So I'm happy that people are asking me, because um, many of you know that I'm a mom of three too. I'm hands-on mom. So how am I able to be where I am right now? It's really, I focus on me. I'm working really hard on what I want to do, which is literally doing what I love, which is writing songs, or, and then it just, the doors open, and then I take opportunities. So serendipity is part of this like, not algorithm. It's just a circle. You work hard, you learn. I took a lot of classes to try to learn about the music industry. I attended a lot of sync conferences and music conferences, and the more I showed up, the more doors are opening. And so all the cliches in the world are true. I mean it. Like, work hard, show up, and then everything will open up for you. So the funny thing about the Grammys is that I I'm a sync consultant, but I don't really talk about it, because um, I just like whoever wants to ask me questions and want me to really spend like about 2 hours with them to teach them what I learned. I just, like, that's it. Like, I don't really market about it or whatever. So what happened was, there was this one artist who found me, I don't know how, on Instagram, who was from New Jersey or something, who is also an artist manager. And he asked me to consult him. So I consulted him 2 times only, which is like 1 hour, like an hour and a half, an hour and a half, like 3 hours max. He implemented what I told him. He ended up getting a sync placement in a big, big, big TV show. Right after that, the Billboard magazine um, um, like wrote an article about them. So the Recording Academy read the article, reached out to them, him and his like artists that they're working together. And then they were asking about the journey, like, how did this happen? They go like, oh, there's this Amira Gadd who's in California, who, and so the Recording Academy was like, who is she? Like, so they asked questions, and then they asked that they would, um, you know, get to interview me, and then so they interviewed me. And then they said, you know what, we're looking for someone like you, because they're starting to have categories that has to do with sync and whatnot. And they thought like I had something a little bit different from what a lot of people had. So and that's how it happened. I just, and then like I was given recommendations, and then like, you need 2 recommendations. So if anybody wants to be part of the academy, I mean, I think there's 2 ways to do it. I think one of them, you need 2 recommendations. I mean, if you go on the website, you just find 2 people who can recommend you, while having you have to have credits. You have to have some sort of proof to show people what are you doing. What's happening with me with my application, like after they approve the recommendation, because you have to be approved first. If they approve the recommendation, then they send you an application, they send you write down, and then when they approve your application, then you move on. So in my recommendation, I realized that throughout what I was doing while building my catalog, and I did a lot of collaborations. I didn't know what liner notes is, which is embarrassing because I'm supposed to know then, but this is how part of the journey. I was like, wow, I do have liner notes. And then that taught me like how to collect information. But at the same time, I realized within the last 4 or 5 years that I've been helping other artists while I was helping myself. Like, I was sharing information. I was volunteering at a lot of conferences out of love for me, trying to show up and doing, things. Sometimes I can't afford sync conferences because there's too many. So I would pay for like one and then volunteer for the other. And what happened was, when I volunteered, it actually open up more doors, which is, like, you end up getting to know people from behind the scenes. You hang out at the green room. When they see that you're working hard, they actually want to work with you, and so it's like play hard, work hard kind of thing. So all these little things added up. I also am behind the scenes. I'm a philanthropist and a humanitarian. And so what I do is I tied in a couple of my songs with some causes, and I gave back. So it just, anything that I did out of the love of what I like to do, it actually worked out for the best, and I did not know any of this until it happened, sort of thing. So I hope that answers the questions for that. Now, the second thing that I want to show you is like the Grammys, the categories keep on becoming more and more every year. Like last year was 91 categories, this year was 94. And so I thought it was interesting this year. especially well, last year too, but like especially this year, can I share my screen and show you something? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna be on the Academy's whoever got nominated and okay, so I want to show you this. Obviously, can you guys see? Okay. Everybody can see this? Okay.
Yep.
I like how, so this is like category number 69, right? Best compilation soundtrack for visual media. And it just explains to you what that means. But obviously, we all know what this means. It's just like the soundtrack for visual media. So Aurora was one from the Daisy Jones and the Six. And then you've got the Barbie album, of course. And then you've got Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy, and then the Weird Al one. And I mean, we all kind of predicted in a way that Barbie was going to be in it. And I remember when I watched the movie and then I was thinking like, oh, I could hear Lizzo. Oh, I could hear Dua Lipa, right? And then, oh, I could hear Billie Eilish. It kind of made me a little bit jealous. Like, how does one get selected to write custom songs for something like that, right? But to be honest, when I listened to Billie Eilish's song with Phineas, and I kind of visualized and imagined myself, if I was given this custom brief to write a song like that, I don't think I would have made it as perfect as they've done it. There is no way. Like, it was so meant to be for Phineas and Billy. It's just every single lyric in it, every single delivery, every single thing they did. It's just like it was meant for them to write it. You know what I mean? So obviously the winner, Mark Ronson, was everywhere this year. He was there. And then also I realized I did not know that Meryl Streep was his mother-in-law. I don't know if you guys knew that, if anybody watched. So she was there at the Grammys. And it also made me think too. I mean, how sometimes people who have connections, it matters in a way, but not all the time. For example, like I thought Mark Ronson, but like having Meryl Streep as your mother-in-law, it does, you know what I mean? Like, that's big, right? So it kind of made me think about a lot of things. And I'm sharing this, not telling you like, oh, we need connections or anything, because Billie Eilish, she was discovered by having songs on sound, what's it called? Where like rappers are.
Was it SoundCloud? Or
SoundCloud,
was
yeah. She was 13 years old. So she was 13-year old when she posted those songs that she had with Phineas at first, like, I'm a bad boy or something like that, whatever, yeah, something like that, right? Like all this stuff. She was 13 years old until like this guy, this producer, heard her on SoundCloud. So there's like two sides of the coin, but this is the thoughts that run in my head. And then the next one was best score soundtrack for visual media, including film and television, which is, of course, Barbie. And then got Black Panther again. And then Fabelmans. And then they've got, oh, John Williams, composer. Wow. Indiana Jones. He did both. Interesting. Okay. And then Oppenheimer. I mean, everybody knew that the soundtrack for the movie is just, wow. Now you've got best score soundtrack for video games and other interactive media. Call of Duty, God of War, Hogwarts Legacy, Star Wars, and Stray Gods. So these were the ones that were able to be nominated, and you only know the winner by the end, right? And then the best song written for visual media, this is what I was talking about. We've got Barbie World, Nicki Minaj, and Ice Spice. But these are the songwriters of the song. And then you got the Dance the Night. I believe Barbie World, that's the Barbie song that we know, right? So this was like, okay, so yeah, Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice, that's cool. Dance the Night, Dua Lipa, and then like, look at that, like this, just how many of the same album, like it's incredible to see that. And you've got one from Black Panther, but then of course, What Was I Made For was the winner. That was that I predicted that one for sure, but look at that. So I think the best way that we all can have a chance to do that is just to continue to show up in like songwriting sessions, and like all those type of songwriting sessions and places that we can just collaborate, and then just go up and up as much as we can. Because the more when I was like trying to like read all these names and all these new winners and all these new lyricists and all these, I mean, new songwriters and all this stuff, I was looking at what they've done before, and it really is about showing up and writing, showing up and writing both at the same time. And then music video, I mean, we don't need to talk. Oh, best music film, that's just scoring, right? Um, but yeah, so I just wanted to show you this, so that way, all right, I show like everybody who is interested in sync. This is like a very cool new categories that has been added recently. So
Cool. And what got you interested? Because were you songwriting before you were involved in sync, or did it happen kind of simultaneously?
the songwriting, oh, I just,
Yeah.
like I said, I decided to, I love lyrics and words. So, and I've always written like poems and songs ever since I was a little girl. It's like my personal diary. But I never thought I was going to be in this industry because I wanted to be a doctor. Long story. So my passion is medicine and helping others and like healing, right, kind of thing. But journey, life and journey. But I remember I took a film music class as an elective during college, and it's so weird. Like throughout your life, you get like those little indications of your journey ahead, right? So, because I remember I was so interested in that. I love music. I used to play piano by ear, like I never took a class. And so, but here I am, I'm doing BPMs and tagging and meditate. It's just like, and I love it. Oh, I have my master's in business too. And I think the business, implementing business and the legal side while you're being creative, it's extremely crucial to be more um, um, successful in this industry, because at the end of the day, music is a business. The music industry is a business, and we as creatives, I think that was like the old traditional music industry where the creatives would want to just create, and then they are depending on others to kind of have control over like the marketing and all this stuff. But I think we're in a new era where no, you have to kind of be aware of having your stems. Up till now, I hear singers who don't have any other tracks or any, like, why? And they're waiting for the producer for like 2 years, and sometimes the producer wouldn't want to give it to them. Why are we allowing ourselves to do that? I don't think we can. And then right now the record labels, the way that they think, it's not like how it used to be. They get someone and they spend all these millions of dollars, to kind of make them something. But right now you're on your own. You kind of have to, you know, prove yourself first, invest in yourself first, and build your numbers, and spend on this music video stuff. So it's harder, but I try to tell artists as much as they can to own their masters as much as they can. If not, and you're having collaboration, just try to be fair with everybody, but like, have fun, of course, but you have to talk about the business part of it from the beginning. Some people prefer to do it after, but I've seen chaos ensuing. When that happens, I get nervous. So I'm like, you know what? I don't have time. I have to go pick up my kid. Are we doing this or not? Okay. We only have 5 minutes. Let's just, who's doing what? Who's going this, And then I don't mind taking care of the admin, because a lot of people are scared of the metadata and, speaking with people. And like, I'll do it. I'll do it. Just like, let's finish the damn song. So a lot of people have songs that don't go anywhere. Like, why? I don't understand it. Like, it's a waste. It's you have something beautiful, use it, And if you have something from 20 years, guess what? It's vintage. So you get money from that. It's not nothing is wasted, It's look at Kate Bush. Look how she has, it's incredible. Her Stranger Things story is incredible. I don't know if we have time to talk about it, but like, it's incredible to see how she was revived. Look at, if you watch the Grammys, look how I think, was it Luke Combs who did a cover of Fast Cars? And it won #1 country iTunes charts or something like this. They brought Tracy Chapman and him doing a performance together. Everybody was crying. Everybody was crying. And it was just, it gave me goosebumps. I didn't want to cry because already it was raining when we were trying to go in. We looked like wet cats. My makeup melted after I spent much, and I didn't want to even add to the heart. Like, so I was trying not to cry, but I'm just saying, it was so beautiful to see how you think that you have a song that you loved, and that it would not go anywhere. You guys never know, right? So, and then also, was it Joni Mitchell singing her story? I mean, she had a brain aneurysm. She couldn't speak, and she couldn't watch. She had to relearn. And you talk about a singer, right? I don't sing. I don't know how to sing. I sound really horrible. But I was just like listening, looking at this, and then she's singing, and she got her Grammy this year, and she was sad, and not sad. I meant like older, right? Um, and what I noticed something was very interesting, that she remembered the lyrics. She sang it all. Billy Joel, they had to put a screen with lyrics for him. And I thought this was interesting, that he can't remember the words. He couldn't memorize the words. He needed help with it, even though he could play the piano. But like with Joni, girl just just like sang her heart out, So um yeah, what was the question? I'm sorry. Sometimes I go sideways.
No, that was great. That was better than the question was anyways. Um, yeah, that's so it's so cool to see how many artists have just kept going throughout their careers, no matter what, through all the challenges. And I feel like I hear that so often. It's like you just have to keep going. And I saw someone that I follow on Instagram, Jess Williamson, who's an indie artist in I think Austin area or Texas. She or maybe Nashville actually, but she was talking about that, how she like had pitched her music to labels for years and was never given any attention and ended up just having to release everything on her own. But then eventually, finally, there was like one label that was interested in her, and then she was able to kind of get footing from that. But it took years, and she just kept going, and she was releasing things on her own. So she was doing a lot of work behind the scenes to get to that place. And she made this post about how just keep you just got to keep doing it, otherwise you won't get to that place. And it's like amazing to see. I mean, obviously like Billy Joel and Joni Mitchell are like some of the greatest musicians of all time, but that it kind of just inspires that same mentality of continuing to do it, which is
Yeah,
cool to
Michelle is
see.
saying that after 44 years as a professional, I can attest to that for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Michelle.
Yeah, so cool,
Yeah, I
so great.
know. Well, the thing is, it's like I think it's about intentions and good. Like if you really love what you're doing, because music industry is hard, so you have to kind of, especially like from no, let's just say after 4 years as a professional. Okay, don't forget it. You did it all in 4 years. um, I think when you focus on your true, like your what you really want to do, right? I think it just opens up the doors. I love long cuts. Like I've noticed that when I take a long cut, other than like, you know how everybody goes to one way, right? Like you're chasing the same thing. When I realize like I take the long cuts, I end up seeing beautiful sceneries, right? Like it's just a butterfly. Nobody sees the butterfly, like, like, or whatever. And then it's my journey is meant for me with whatever it's coming for me. So I have a feeling I'm in the Grammys. I mean, of course, I would love to win the Grammys one day. I had to kind of like collaborate and do things, songs more. But I have a strong feeling is the reason why I was chosen to be in the Grammys was to also help others. And the last 2 years I was able to try to help a few people with certain things by just being a voting member. And so it's just like sometimes it's not about you only, it's about people around you, and which will lead you to you at the end, kind of. And the funniest thing, most of you guys know I love serendipity. the funniest thing about me being a voting member the year that I got accepted was that it was the year that they added the songwriting category. And I thought, like, what are the odds that I get to be a voting member the year they added songwriting to it? Because that's what I want to do, right? And it's funny because I've I'm doing what I like to do. All my life, I love listening to songs on the radio while I'm driving. It's healing for me. It's like music therapy. And every time a song comes out, I would be like, oh no, that lyric should have been like blah, 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 or like, ooh, this is really good. So I literally did or are doing when I'm like selecting the song that I want to be nominated or voting, like giving my vote, I'm doing exactly what I have been doing every single day of my life. It's so it's kind of like it's interesting that um you are being always like I'm being led to what I I am really good at for myself. Like you know what I mean? So I see a question.
Yeah, there's a
Oh, thank you,
couple.
Michelle. I hope so one day. When you
Um,
say work hard, what does that look like to you? How many songs a week makes a pro writer producer? What would you recommend as a productivity goal in that way? I think everybody's schedule is different from others. I think what's productive is, I don't think it's about the quantity as much as the quality. Sometimes quantity is important, but I'm realizing the more I focus on providing quality, the better the chances for me. So at the beginning, I wanted to build my catalog and I was collaborating with every single person on earth, and some of the songs were not produced well. They were good songs but not produced well. And then when I was able to highly produce some, because some songs can be, I'm not a singer, I'm not a producer, so sometimes I have to pay certain producers or session musicians if I want the songs to sound real as a you know what I mean, like and now I feel so I now I feel like I'm determined to only provide high quality as much as I can, but because it's expensive. So like I feel like it's kind of like, because I have like 700 songs on my on my notes. So you kind of have a like play around with it. Have a few high quality songs and have some that are if you can, like do equal splits, or maybe like have some demos and just show that you're active, you know what I mean, like just show it and have an idea, because you never know if somebody wants to pick it up and stuff. That's happened to me. I've had songs that were not like highly produced and people were like, oh, can we have this song? And I did that actually with a friend of mine, who he wrote like 90% of the song, but he put the demo, he couldn't produce it because it was expensive. But I loved it so much. I actually paid 100% of it and I split it 50-50 with him. But the song was so good. I was like, you know what? So it just like, it really depends. I I think as long as you try to show that you're active and you're doing something, you know what I mean? Then that's what matters. My productivity is different than yours. I like right now, I'm like in a few hours, I have to go pick up my kids. But before that, I have to cook something. And then while I do that, I have to, right now, I'm supposed to be at work. I told my boss that I'm going to do this. So I have to make up for that. And then I have laundry and I have all this stuff. And, so um, when I have something to do, I either wake up really early to kind of finish it or like stay up at night. Friday nights, most of the time I didn't go out, I would attend a webinar or finish the admin, which is like the split sheets, sending it out, disco, metadata tagging. These are all little work. Sometimes if it gets overwhelming, I decided to do the 5 minutes rule for me, which is, let me just work 5 minutes on it. So I'll finish a split sheet. And then at night, 5 minutes of sending an email, right? But just keep the wheels turning. Sometimes I have 2-3 hours in my head, but you have to pick and choose. So there were a couple of years where I didn't socialize the way that I used to socialize with my friends, or birthdays. Like, I have 3 kids, so you can imagine every, 20 kids in their classes, you know what I mean? So it's just like, how do I, and then my kids were involved in activities like crazy. You're talking like soccer club and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, so in the pickup line, I spend it by sending emails or replying to emails, right? And then, so my journey is different than yours. You've got to have to figure it out. But one thing I know for sure is like, just keep it rolling. If you can't do anything, then just post the post. Say like, I'm thinking of this idea. You know what I mean? But just show that you're there. Like, hello, I exist. You know what I mean? So.
Kate was asking if you have any suggestions if she gets stuck with some of the tech side of things, just like production. She was saying recording, completing songs, getting songs registered, that kind of thing, and what your suggestion would be for that.
Tech stuff. That was the thing.
Recording, completing songs, getting them registered.
Oh, okay. So tech stuff. Like, for example, there was one time we were stuck with DistroKid, and I asked everybody, and I kind of like, I think I caused a revolution or something. I don't know what happened, but a lot of people didn't know if the percentage in DistroKid was master ownership or songwriting ownership. And when we tried to reach out to DistroKid, zero explanation. And when he tried to do articles on it, and then I asked to indie, right? And I asked, I don't know, the Sync Summit group, and I asked I think was it Michael Elsner group, and I'm telling you, nobody knew the answer. And because we talked about it so much, I really don't even remember right now what the right answer is. But I think I'll go safely with it. I think it's like master ownership. I think so. Um, so this is like, so because of that, I usually like would do everything right away. And so okay, what if it's like 50-50 between me and the songwriter, but then we're giving 15% of masters to the producer, right? So how do you, like, right today we got an email from a producer who's overseas, and because he's overseas, he couldn't be part of DistroKid, and I think he had like 15% or something, and so they want us to send them the royalties amount for him. And so it caused like, so we worked on 2 songs. So one collaborator was like, oh, I thought we paid you that there isn't something which meant like a percentage or something. But I remember we gave him 15% of the masters. Um, so that's why having a split sheet ready and signed is important, because it's been 2 years and I completely don't remember what our agreement was because I keep on collaborating. So, but still, so now that he said that, I think DistroKid is master percentages. And I believe that when you register a song in PRO, that's where it takes care of the publishing and the writer's share of it. So the producer is not in ASCAP or BMI, but then DistroKid is something else. So this is a technical thing that it took a couple of weeks to kind of talk about, right? And it delayed what we were supposed to do because that was an important and crucial thing. But stuff like this happens all the time. Oh, guys, wait until AI comes in the picture and and all this stuff. It never ends. This industry keeps on changing. um, but yeah, so technical stuff like this, when I say technical or admin, I'm talking about making sure, I mean, there's the song, right, which is you sing it, you produce it, you're finishing it, and then the mixing and the mastering, whatever it is. But then there's the dressing up your newborn baby. You need to give it shots, and you need to dress it up, and feed it, and just like take pictures of it and show it to people. You know what I mean? So that's the technical stuff, which is cover art, metadata, tagging, disco links, or creating any other links. Then the emails, and then the research. Who are you gonna send it to? Because you need to research, because what happened was after the strike, so many people got laid off. And as we speak, people are getting laid off. They're not announcing the whole people are getting laid off. I saw the list, or I'm seeing all this stuff. They're only saying it one by one, but after February, even more are going to be laid off. So, which means research is extremely important, because you do not want to send an email to somebody who just left. You want to make sure that these people still, and some people who get laid off from, say, let's assume Riot Games, might be working at Netflix now, right? So those are the little things that take time, but you have to take care of it. Somebody's saying, how did you choose your fellow collaborators? So when I first came in the industry 2017, I was looking for like a place to go, like look for other songwriters, just to talk. And I found out about something called ASCAP. I did not hear about that before. And then I saw Justin Bieber picture. I'm like, oh my God, let's just go to this. And then I went over there, and so I got to communicate with certain people from over there. I just mind you, there are a lot of people who took my business cards and threw it on the floor, and I saw it. A lot of, yeah, it's just okay, but out of all the 500 people that I gave my business card, the 2 or 3 people that kept in touch with me blew so hard. One of them is Shuba. I don't know if you know Shuba, but Celine Dion and Kemal, what's his name? Kemal, the TV show guy. And then she just went to Grammys, and she's like in the higher tier Grammys, and she's got like 5 million people following her on TikTok. She's almost a 1 million follower on Instagram. I remember when she was, and I hired her for to collaborate with me on a couple of things. She was in another state, and she flew to ASCAP, and I loved her voice, and I just went to her. And so just trying to communicate, because you never know. Half of the people that I introduced to themselves, and they were not even known or heard, half of them are way up, and they're trying to take me up with them. But this all happened because it was a genuine relationship. It wasn't because, oh, you're big, I need something from you. So I went to ASCAP, and then after that, while I took a class to learn more about the music industry, there was this retreat in Costa Rica. I went over there while everybody was drinking and dancing. I know a lot of people know this, I have my notebook all the time writing notes. So I will go up to people while they're dancing. I'm like, hey, do you want to collaborate with me? I don't drink, and I dance like Elaine from Seinfeld, so I was just like, that was the best that I can do. And then I wrote down the whole list of, oh yeah, okay, so so what happened was, when I went back from that retreat, so it was like 5 days, Costa Rica was really nice. Obviously I was older than everybody. Everybody was like in their early 20s, and I'm like, I was 40 or something, I don't know. But so but there were artists from around the world, which is so cool, and they were from the same music industry program or whatever. And when I went back, the first person I reached out to was the first person that I had the name on. He's from New Zealand. At that time, he was an English teacher in Venezuela, Panama. And we decided, I'm like, oh, I really liked his, he's just like, Australians and New Zealanders are very like, very, very like la, like it's just always happy, kind of like, give us some of that energy. And so we did a song called Summer Coming. I was telling him, I'm taking this sing class, there's little girl themes, like let's talk about summer, like whatever, what I mean. Guess what happened to that song? We ended up getting 16 placements out of that same song. Kelly and Clark, yeah, 50-50, he produced it. We had fun. We finished the song before, but I said, I'll pitch it, whatever. I got it signed, and they loved it. Was the Kelly and Ryan Seacrest show. They loved it so much they use it every single year. And I got invited by Seven Seas Music, which they're my agency, right? I was the only artist that they had like a Christmas party for music supervisors and stuff. I was the only one invited because they wanted to showcase me as their successful artist. And they introduced me to all these music supervisors, like, here's this Amira. And so I got to meet the person who was handling, like, giving it, like, he was in Chicago. I've never met him. He's like from Seven Seas. He goes like, Amira, every time I try to give them any other song, they're like, no, 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 we want Summer Coming. We want Summer Coming. And he goes like, I'm like, so, you know what I mean? This was not planned. Nothing is planned. All I did was go up to a drunk guy and ask him for like, no, I'm just kidding. He was having so much fun. You know? I mean, there's a video somewhere. I always look like a nerd. Like, I don't know how to explain it. They're all like wearing like Caribbean stuff and stuff. And I'm just like, you know, like whatever. But I'm like sneaking in with the, like, oh, hi. Hey, your name is Anthony. Okay. Yeah, yeah. You want to collaborate with me? Like, okay, what's your name and number and all this stuff. So what I did is like, I went back and I reached out to every single person who gave me their phone number, whatnot. And half of them I collaborated with, and we have placements and stuff. But I just wanted to give you Anthony's example. It's like how that happened. So yes, showing up. So that's how I chose my collaborator. Now let me tell you this: 90% of my collaborators, mwah, I love them, very nice. And there's this 10%. It was hard. It was hard. There are few people that sometimes the songs fall out and they're good and I love them. I love them so much. It's just like sometimes you have to make decisions to either move on from the song because of certain things. And I love them. And it's not, it has nothing to do with the collaborators. It just has to do with some technical stuff or whatever I was going through. Because during COVID time, it was a lot hard because a lot of like producers just fell out of the earth. I was the K-pop, BTS, and what do you call it? Blackpink manager reached out to me because he wanted me to like provide songs or whatnot. I don't remember. It's just showing up on Instagram, and he found me and whatever, you know. And so I presented a song to that person. He loved it. He said, you know, I think Blackpink would love it or whatnot. But my collaborator, oh, he just wanted me to change something. I don't mind changing anything because I know it's a business and you have to kind of listen to them. You know, when they want something, you have to do it for them. You're providing a service, providing a product. So my collaborator, what she did, she was like, no, I like it that way. I'm not going to change it. I'm like, you don't understand. They need it to be this way because there's like about 15 or 500 girls in the same group and they have to change it that way because everybody will get a piece. She refused. My collaborator refused to do it. And then of course I couldn't. And then the other two, the producers were taking so long and during COVID, and it's just like, you know, so sometimes collaborators, you know, so what happened, and the reason I'm saying this is because I learned who I prefer to work with now because of how the system works with me of my journey, right? It doesn't mean that someone is bad or wrong. It's just like you have to kind of find your fit, right? Like you don't know what your collaborator is going to do. Some are very easy and then some were difficult only because they didn't understand what sync was. Because some producers don't understand the world of sync and they don't understand like, oh my God, in order to present a song, it has to be master ownership. You have to own part of the master. And sometimes I think the master ownership was only for producers. And so it's just like there's a lot of learning. So if you're gonna collaborate, like I would create a team, which happened with me because I've showed up so many places, I've met so many producers, I've met so many vocalists, and I ended up indirectly creating a team around me. So if I wanted to work with hip hop, I have a hip hop singer and a rapper and a producer who understands 808 and all this stuff, right? And then if you want to work in sync particular, I think working with a producer who understands the sync world, it's much easier in my opinion, because when I tried to work with producers who don't understand sync, I found just a few, not all of them. I just found it to be like there's a resistance. Like I'm like, no, but this is how sync works, right? Like you know, you have to have, you know, you have to build your song, you have to have dynamics, you have to negative spaces are very important. You have to have edit points. We all have to have masters in it, or there's one stop. And I just found myself that I don't have time to explain anymore. I used to be okay with that, but now I just So work with as many as possible with people and see who you're comfortable with, who will make you better as a songwriter. There's a lot of time where I come up with an idea and somebody comes up with an even better idea, you know? And so there was, at first, it was the first time that happened, I had this little egotistic thing, but like, what about my lyric? I thought that, you know, but then I was like, no, the song works way better. So now I'm like, okay, you know what? You know what? You're right. This actually works better. And because I did that, all of my collaborations, I actually learned so much and I became a better songwriter by sharing ideas and collaborations. So,
There
any
was a
questions?
question about retitling and if you ask agencies about that. We've talked about retitling before in these workshops and how that's a big no-no. I don't know if you, yeah, I think I feel like if an agency is doing that, you'd want to steer clear, but is that something you ask up front when you're looking for representation?
Well, I already know who's doing the retitling or not. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't think I've ever tried to ask someone, but that's a good reminder to do that. Now
Yeah.
that there's like all these new boutiques, we need to make sure, right? I don't like the retitling. However, it worked with some people. So some sync agency says that they have to do what they have to do, and it made it work, and people got placements. It's fine. My problem is it's because of technology right now and Shazam and like all these like AI um, programs or like apps. The more that we have that technology, I don't know how copyright issues are going to be going on because so I try to stay clear from this stuff as much as possible. A long time ago, nobody had the tool to kind of like find out if England has the same song, but it's different title. But right now, I mean, it's just like it's getting so complicated with tech that to me, I feel like when you see smoke, just or fire, just try to stay away as much as you can. If this is something you have to do, like say like with that agency, then just give him one or two. Like literally, I was giving my song to a company that we all know. I'm not going to mention their name, um, but they have gotten so many successful placements to a lot of people. And then they said they were gonna, you know, they're dying to get one of my songs that I haven't placed. I mean, given it to anybody, and we agreed to give it to them. And then I was talking to a couple of music supervisors who were asking me like what I'm doing, and so I told them I'm waiting for so and so to. They go like, oh no no no, stay away from them. They actually avoid that company. So what I did is I sent them an email. I said, you know what, we, you know, thank you so much for your, you know, consideration, but we're having a different direction with the song, you know, like, you know, and I haven't resend it somewhere, but it just made me think, okay, if this is going to be a problem with a few supervisors, I'd rather give it to a company that would have zero problems with anybody, right? It is what it is. So my answer would be, it's up to you. I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's good advice. I feel like yeah, such an iffy area. It's like, do you really want to be involved? But you can if you want to take the risk, but also I think
You
we've
know, if there
seen it
wasn't
not work out.
technology, if it wasn't the technology being advanced like that, and then they're creating the technology for AI to try to see who did what with AI, like it's just I don't know, it's just not like a song is a song, right?
Yeah.
But you never know who's gonna, you know, who's gonna take what. Like a lot of people right now are doing a lot of things that they shouldn't, you know. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Kate asked, when do you decide to release your song as a single? Kate, do you mean when if you release like a sync, like do you wait to release a song until you get a sync or do it? Is that what I'm not sure if that's what you're
Oh,
asking.
oh, I see. It really depends. I know Grey's Anatomy prefer unreleased songs, you know, and a couple of other TV shows are the same, or maybe like trailers or big movies. They'd rather that if the song was like maybe just released recently and have big numbers, then they'll use it or unreleased because they want to keep that. mystery, like and then some music supervisors they don't care at all. So it depends. Some songs I don't, I have a lot of songs that are not released, and some songs I'm just releasing. I don't put all of my eggs in one basket. You have to make that decision for yourself. Sometimes we make a decision, oh, we're not going to release it, but then nothing's happening. Then, okay, we're just going to release it. If it happens, it happens. You know what I mean? So I think with TV show, it's the business, right? If your song is so good and it will make the scene, they're going to have it no matter what, right? But most of the time, I'm seeing that they're trying to place a song where the singer has like a big following, so that way it will bring the fans into watching the TV show in order for it to have more ratings.
Mhm.
So it really depends. But I'm just saying, if the song is so good, then trust that it will be, taken no matter what. So check
Great.
out Freya writings. Freya is one of those people where her song got placed over and over and over. She has 80 placements in a couple of years. That
Wow.
song that she had, Without You. Without You, simple lyrics. Simple, like my youngest daughter can write it. Very simple. Very simple, but it's so relatable. And there was enough um, emotional tension because of the spaces in between. And then you can put her name, Freya Ridings, in TuneFind and look at all of the songs. She only has like a few songs, three, four. That's it. But it got used over and over and over again. So it has been released, it has been used, but it's been still used again over and over again. Do you see what I mean? So it really depends. And I think it's because her song is so good that there's no way people are not going to have it. So
How do you spell her name?
let me see. Let me write it down. Freya. She was so good that I know a couple of um, um, music supervisors attended her LA show because this is how much they loved her voice and her everything.
Wow. That's amazing. It's nice to see, some songs that are so simple and get such attention.
Very,
It's a good
it's without. She has
reminder.
another one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And she has another one called Castles or something. She had both songs uh in Grey's Anatomy. But yeah, just check out what she did, like Freya writings
Cool.
and TuneFind, and see where it got placed.
Cool. Great. Well, we're at the end of our hour. Crazy that that went by so quickly.
Yeah.
Um, if anyone else has any questions, pop them in the next couple minutes. But I'm gonna drop a link to our creator circle on Facebook. So if you have any follow-up questions, you can put them there. And we also have all of our announcements and just communication through that Facebook group. So please join us there if you haven't already. Um, but this was such great information, and it's so good to see you always, Amira. So thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you, Erica. Thank
again.
you.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you
always
so
such a
much.
pleasure having you on, and
Thank you,
and
everybody. I
this
love you all. It's so good to see most of you that
can
I know and all the people that I don't know. Thank you so much for showing up. This was nice. I loved it.
so nice. Great. Thanks,
Uh,
everybody, and thanks for your questions.
and Jordan, can you just give a little reminder about the just like maybe if you guys have anybody or anything you want to say about Pandion, if it's been helping you through
Yeah.
your process or your day to day, or you're getting great information from these workshops, please send us an email at hello@pandionmusicfoundation.org and give us your comments, and we might post them on our website. If anybody's interested in volunteering, especially if you're in LA for some of our in-person events, please also email us at hello, the same one, pandionmusicfoundation.org. And is there anything else?
Yeah.
There's, yeah,
Go say hi to Rebecca if you're at Ventura.
yeah, yeah. Mostly I'll be there Friday, just hanging out in the couch bar area because I'm representing Pandion, so I'm not going as an artist this time.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Nice.
All right, everyone. Good to see you,
Great.
Amira.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Good to see you,
Bye.
Maria. Bye.
Bye.